1. Introduction. TikTok, a popular social media app owned by ByteDance, has faced numerous controversies in various countries, with one of the most significant being the potential ban in the United States. The debate centers around national security, data privacy, and political concerns. The US government, alongside various lawmakers, has raised alarms about the app's ownership and the possible misuse of data, especially considering its Chinese origins. This article explores the reasons for the potential TikTok ban in the USA, its geopolitical implications, and the broader conversation surrounding the regulation of global tech companies. 2. TikTok's rise to prominence. TikTok has become one of the most popular social media platforms worldwide, especially among younger demographics. The app allows users to create, share, and engage with short videos that feature music, dance, and comedy. Since its launch in 2016, TikTok has expanded rapidly, amassing over 1 billion users globally by 2023. Its algorithm, which tailors content to individual users based on their interests and behaviors, has been one of the key factors contributing to its success. TikTok's influence extends beyond entertainment, with its ability to shape trends, music, fashion, and even politics. Chapter 3. Ownership of TikTok and concerns over data privacy. TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese tech company headquartered in Beijing. This ownership structure has raised concerns among US officials regarding the app's potential ties to the Chinese government. Under Chinese law, companies are required to cooperate with government intelligence operations if requested. Critics argue that this creates a significant security risk, especially as TikTok collects vast amounts of personal data from its users, including location data, browsing habits, and device information. The concern is that this data could be accessed by the Chinese government, leading to a potential threat to national security. The US government has expressed fears that this data could be used for espionage, surveillance, or even to influence public opinion, especially in sensitive political matters. Although TikTok has repeatedly denied that it shares user data with the Chinese government, these concerns persist, fueling the ongoing debate over the app's security. 4. National security concerns. National security concerns surrounding TikTok primarily stem from the possibility that the app could be used as a tool for espionage. The US government has long been wary of Chinese technological advancements, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and data collection. With the rise of TikTok, these concerns have intensified, as the app has access to a massive amount of personal data on American citizens. Critics argue that TikTok could be used to collect sensitive information, such as the locations, movements, and behaviors of individuals, which could be exploited for intelligence purposes. There is also the fear that TikTok could be used to manipulate public opinion by promoting certain political narratives or suppressing content critical of the Chinese government. The potential for foreign influence on American politics has become a central issue in the national security debate. 5. Geopolitical tensions and the US-China rivalry. The US-China rivalry has been a driving force behind the calls for a TikTok ban. Over the past few years, the relationship between the two countries has become increasingly strained, with trade wars, military tensions, and ideological differences dominating the global conversation. TikTok has found itself at the intersection of this geopolitical conflict. From the US perspective, TikTok represents more than just a social media platform. It is a symbol of China's growing influence in the tech world. The US government has been particularly concerned about China's technological rise, seeing it as a challenge to American dominance in innovation and technology. The ban of TikTok could therefore be seen as part of a broader strategy to limit China's influence in global tech and protect US interests. 6. TikTok's response and efforts to address concerns. In response to growing concerns, TikTok has made several attempts to reassure the US government and its users that it is committed to protecting privacy and data security. The company has repeatedly emphasized that its US user data in the country, with a separate data infrastructure for American users. TikTok has also implemented a number of transparency measures, including allowing third-party audits of its data practices and giving users more control over their data privacy settings. Additionally, TikTok has taken steps to distance itself from its Chinese parent company. In 2020, TikTok announced that it would create a global data security center in the US to oversee data protection efforts. The company also hired a number of high-profile executives in the US, including former Disney executive Kevin Mayer, in an effort to strengthen its American operations and rebuild trust with US lawmakers. Despite these efforts, skepticism remains, and many lawmakers argue that TikTok's attempts to address security concerns have not gone far enough. Some US politicians have called for an outright ban, while others have advocated for stricter regulations to ensure that TikTok complies with US data privacy standards. 7. Legal and political ramifications of a ban. The potential ban of TikTok in the United States carries significant legal and political ramifications, which have far-reaching consequences. On one side, the US government has the legal authority to regulate and even ban foreign entities if national security risks are identified. This power is granted under various laws, including the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, which allows the US government to impose sanctions or restrictions on foreign companies that pose a threat to the country's national security. Therefore, if TikTok is deemed to pose such a risk due to its data collection practices or its potential ties to the Chinese government, the US government could invoke this authority to restrict its operations. However, banning a platform like TikTok also raises important questions about civil liberties, such as freedom of speech and the free market. The United States values the right of individuals to freely access information and communicate across various platforms. A ban could be seen as infringing upon this right, as it would limit the ability of millions of Americans to access content that is widely popular and culturally significant. TikTok is more than just an entertainment platform. It is a space for creativity, self-expression, and activism. Thus, a ban could be interpreted as the government encroaching on individual freedoms. Moreover, the political ramifications are also significant. A TikTok ban could set a dangerous precedent for other countries to follow suit, especially those with similar concerns about the influence of foreign tech giants. If other nations begin to ban foreign tech companies based on perceived security risks, it could lead to a fragmented global tech ecosystem where companies are forced to operate under vastly different regulations in each country. This fragmentation could have long-term effects on the growth and development of the tech industry. Additionally, a ban could trigger retaliatory actions from China, which would not only affect the global standing of American tech companies in China, but could also escalate broader geopolitical tensions. China has already imposed restrictions on US tech companies like Google, Facebook, and Twitter within its borders, and a TikTok ban might prompt Beijing to take further retaliatory measures, impacting the operations of US businesses in China and globally. As the US government continues to explore legal options, there are several court cases and legislative proposals that could significantly alter the landscape. The legal battles are ongoing, and it remains to be seen whether the courts will uphold a ban or if TikTok will be able to secure its operations in the US through negotiations or by implementing changes to meet US regulatory standards. This ongoing legal struggle will shape the future of not just TikTok, but also the broader debate on data privacy and digital sovereignty. 8. The role of social media and technology companies in society. The TikTok controversy underscores the broader role that social media platforms and technology companies play in shaping modern society. Social media platforms, including TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, are not merely spaces for entertainment. They've become integral parts of daily life, influencing how people communicate, consume news, and interact with the world. These platforms also hold immense power over what information is seen by millions of users, which has raised concerns about their impact on public opinion and democracy. At the heart of the debate surrounding TikTok is the issue of data privacy. Social media companies collect vast amounts of personal data, ranging from the basic, such as age and location, to the highly detailed, including browsing habits, search history, and even biometric data. The ability of these companies to track and store user behavior raises significant concerns about how that data is used, whether it is protected, and who has access to it. Critics argue that the data collected by TikTok, if mishandled or accessed by foreign governments, could pose a severe privacy risk. Furthermore, concerns about the lack of transparency in how companies like TikTok use and protect user data have prompted calls for stricter regulations and oversight. Beyond privacy issues, social media platforms have been criticized for their role in the spread of misinformation. TikTok, with its viral nature and recommendation algorithm, is particularly susceptible to the rapid dissemination of misleading or harmful content. These platforms can be used to spread conspiracy theories, fake news, and manipulated media, often influencing public opinion on critical issues like elections, health, and social justice. In some cases, foreign actors have exploited these platforms to interfere in political processes, exacerbating the concern about their potential to undermine democracy. This situation raises difficult questions for governments around the world. How can they regulate these powerful platforms to protect citizens without infringing on freedom of expression? Striking this balance is a major challenge, as regulating tech companies can easily veer into censorship or authoritarian control, which many countries are wary of. Governments must find ways to ensure these platforms are not being misused for malicious purposes while respecting the free flow of information. The debate also highlights the importance of holding technology companies accountable for the content they allow on their platforms and the data they collect. This accountability is not just about privacy. It's also about ensuring these companies are not contributing to the erosion of public trust, the manipulation of political systems, or the amplification of harmful content. 9. The future of TikTok in the US. The future of TikTok in the United States remains uncertain, as it continues to face significant legal and political pressure. While some members of Congress and government officials advocate for a complete ban of the app, others are pushing for a more nuanced regulatory solution that would address the concerns over privacy and national security without taking such drastic measures. The resolution to TikTok's status in the US will likely depend on multiple factors, including ongoing legal proceedings, discussions between TikTok's management and US regulators, and the evolving geopolitical climate. One possible scenario is that TikTok could be compelled to sever its ties with its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. This could involve the sale of TikTok's US operations to an American firm, or the creation of a new legal entity to specifically manage and safeguard the data of US users. Such a move would likely be viewed as a solution to the national security concerns surrounding the app's connection to China, while still allowing TikTok to continue its operations in the US market. This separation would also serve to improve TikTok's image as an independent global company, thus reducing fears about the influence of the Chinese government on the platform's activities in the US. Another possibility is that TikTok may face more stringent regulatory oversight, leading to the implementation of tougher data privacy and security laws. In this scenario, US lawmakers may extend such regulations to all foreign tech companies, not just TikTok, in an effort to standardize data protection practices across the digital landscape. These regulations could call for greater transparency in how companies collect and use personal data, tighter restrictions on the sharing of that data with foreign governments, and increased accountability for tech firms in the event of privacy violations. Such sweeping regulations could have far-reaching effects on the way that tech companies operate in the US and beyond. Regardless of the outcome, it is clear that TikTok's future in the United States will be shaped by ongoing political and legal developments. Its ability to satisfy US regulators and the public that it poses no security or privacy threats will be crucial in determining whether it can remain operational in the US market. TikTok may also need to make significant changes to its operations, data handling procedures, and content moderation practices in order to comply with evolving legal frameworks. These changes could fundamentally alter how TikTok operates, not just in the US, but globally. Conclusion: The potential ban of TikTok in the United States presents a complex issue that intersects with concerns over national security, data privacy, freedom of speech, and the broader role of technology in modern life. While the worries about TikTok's data collection practices and its possible links to the Chinese government are valid, the broader consequences of such a ban must also be carefully considered. A ban could set a dangerous precedent for other countries, prompting similar actions against foreign tech companies, which could lead to a fractured global tech market. It may also result in political and economic repercussions, including retaliatory measures from China that could affect the global operations of US tech companies. Ultimately, the TikTok debate goes beyond a single app. It raises critical questions about how nations can navigate the challenges posed by global tech giants that transcend borders. Governments around the world will need to establish balanced regulations that address security and privacy concerns without stifling innovation or limiting the free flow of information. As this issue unfolds, it will serve as an important case study in the future of digital governance, with wide-reaching implications for how society balances the need for security with the desire for freedom and innovation in the digital age.